Africans usually go and study overseas. So you have in 1989, you had Naim Samnake from Malans High School going to Australia. He is now a doctor in Australia. You can have Fred Were in 1990 from Starehe, went to US, is now a doctor. 1991, you had the likes of Humphrey Watanga going to Harvard. In 1992, you had Gilbert Tengeta from Mango High School going to US University of California, South California. Then, of course, is now an engineer in the US. Then in 1993, you had Washeni Kanyaro from Manas going to Harvard. 1994, you had Kirimania Mrizi from Manas going to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. 1996, you had Nathaniel Choge going to Harvard. In 1997, you had Mwashuma Nyata from Alliance High School going to Harvard. Now he's a financial consultant in America. In 1998, you had Timothy Zairo going to Harvard. Is now a software programmer in is now a software programmer in the US at Microsoft. He was one of the Microsoft millionaires. 1999, you had Samuel Gikandi going over to that is MIT, and now, of course, he came back. He worked at Morgan Stanley in Hong Kong, came back. He's now founded Africa Stocking and SMS Pearl Company, and is a board member of Stanbic Bank. In 2000, you had that Champati from Mango High School going to getting a full scholarship to University of Adelaide, Australia. And now, of course, he has a PhD, or maybe he dropped out, but he worked in the Apogee defense systems. In 2001, you had Amit Monga from Starehe going to McGill University, and of course, he is now a financial consultant there. In 2002, the first one to study in Kenya, Paul Bundi. He is from Paul Bundi is from, I think, that is Kenya High School. He went to the University of Nairobi to pursue medicine. So the only one in that role. Then in 2005, you had James Candiero teach from Moi High School, Kabara, going to MIT. He's now an engineer at Google. And then, of course, in 2006, you had one of the top students, that is Herman Mutiso from Alliance High School, going to MIT. Of course, he had gotten scholarships from both MIT and Harvard, but chose MIT. And of course, the following year, Harvard did not pick a student from Alliance, and it had to take the principal of Alliance High School, Christopher Kaimba, to go all the way to Harvard, to assure in Cambridge, Massachusetts, USA, to assure the Harvard admission officials that Alliance High School students prefer Harvard to any other university in the world. So you can see how very much our brains go on to study. They get lucrative jobs. So basically, our education budgets are about supplements to to the US higher education system. They get our brains so cheaply. So you have KCSE stars, Home 4 stars setting their eyes on US colleges. So basically, you have the Nigerian American Philip Emeagwali, who co-invented the supercomputer after modeling it after the bee honeycomb. You have Philip Emeagwali saying Africa would still be poor even if $1 trillion was poured into it, because it has no intrinsic value. All the top brains have left. So that's it. That is brain drain. And then another issue I looked at is Ghana swears in John Mahama as incoming president. So I think he is the first African president to be elected to occupy presidency on 2 non-consecutive terms. So John Mahama becomes the first African president to occupy the presidency after 2 non-consecutive terms. So basically, but I think elections are not enough. Ghana is under debt distress. It is a stable democracy, but why is it not translating to money in people's pockets? We need to be doing economic growth. We cannot be having elections simply for the face of it. What Africa has is plural democracy, not liberal democracy. So basically, you have our elections really are tribal animosities, one tribe versus another tribe. We organize our elections around tribe, not on the deep issues of the day, not on ideology, not on what issues they stand for. Which African president ever presents an infrastructure plan, a jobs plan, a healthcare plan? So it is about all about the issues that we have. So basically, I think Basically, I just think this time, I think we need to do elections. We just need to have two in Africa, maybe a left of center party that's about equality of opportunity, where a left of center party that's about equality of opportunity, where you bring everyone to the same starting lineup, maybe what we call socialist party, and a right of center party, party of business, party of individual dynamism, where you empower businesses so that the individual creative genius can flourish. The tragedy we have here in Africa is that our richest people are billionaires, not the creative geniuses. That's what the trouble we have. And even for the brains living, they just see a politician who barely made it to school, who does not produce anything. A politician who does not produce any product or service basically is a billionaire because of stealing. And then they watch their cousin who had all the papers, had all the brains and tarmacking, and then they decide to leave the country. So basically, how that's just how these elections are organized around tribes. That's why then they fail to make it. Then basically, I will also talk about in American political parlance. So Donald Trump becomes the first American president to be convicted. So he was given a non-custodial sentence. So basically, Donald Trump becomes the first convicted felon to be elected American president. Of course, many people say that they voted for Donald Trump because he seems to be strong on the economy. That's what Donald Trump says. He seems to be strong on the economy, and then Kamala Harris seems to be strong on preserving democracy. That's what she ran on, that is preserving democracy. But then voters tied her to the failed Biden policies because of inflation. Remember, voters attribute inflation to voters attribute wage increase to as a result of their own efforts, but then they admit they attribute high cost of living inflation to a failure by the president. So basically, they punish President Biden, and then of course they said that the voter has to be that is they punish President Biden, basically saying that really that. His inflation is what may be printing money incessantly. Remember, America prints just money, and maybe this is something you have to address. When America has a debt, it simply prints money out of thin air. And I think President Kagame said that when Rwandan President Paul Kagame said when Africa wants to pay its debt, it has to pay through commodities, through resources, through gold, through copper, through cotton. But when the developed US wants to has a money shortage, it just simply prints money out of thin air. And that's why Donald Trump says that if the United States does not, if the dollar is not the world's reserve currency, America could be a house built on cards. So you can imagine right now, America has a debt of over $35 trillion. That's about it pays now. It spends more on interest on loan repayments than it does on the military. Remember, America has the largest military budget in the world, about $800 billion, more than the world combined. So basically, military is there so that they can enforce the dollar as the world's reserve currency. So Donald Trump becomes the first convicted felon to be elected president of the United States. So basically, I think African dictators like Trump a lot because he speaks to their hearts. Because remember, he's a strong man. He admires strong men like Vladimir Putin, and of course, the former president of Botswana, Festus Mugabe, said Africa does not need strong men; it needs a strong institution. So bye for now. Till the next time. Bye for now.